Hey Cam fam, welcome back and welcome to Keeping Up with Cam. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. And if you're returning subby, thank you so much for coming back. So today we have our toddler boy hairstyle video number 92. In this video, I'm going to show you what we can do with two big braids. All right, so we're starting off with our Curl Piece Nourishing Hair and Scalp Butter. This is the Just For Me brand. This is what it looks like. It is a completely new container. It looks a little weird. Stay with me. So what you do to activate this is you rub it in between your hands. You want to keep going as much as you can until it gets down to just basically an oil. Now the top layer of this did have a couple white pieces that wouldn't melt. That's okay, because once it gets onto the hair it comes off anyways. So you just want to make sure that you're saturating the hair. As you can see here, keep going until it's just liquidy. And you're going to add that to the hair. You can use this on the scalp and you can use this on the hair itself. I like to add this into the hair when I'm working with hair that's been blow dry. That way it's not reverting his hair back to his curly condition and it's still moisturizing the hair. Now I'm going in with our Blue Magic Hair Dress Conditioner. This is like a grease. You're going to add this into the scalp, but again, you can also use this on the hair itself. I love using this. This is an old favorite, like my mom used it on me. Like this is, something that's been around. So I put that into the scalp just here and there and I massage that in. But then I'm also going to use it at the end to add to the scalp once I've braided everything and then I know where I need to grease. So we're going in with this Frizz Ease 4-in-1 Extra Strength Serum. This is by Frieda. I'm using this on his hair because we are adding a bit of heat. I usually use the Chi Ultra Silk Infusions, the small version with the red cap. My go-to, my number one. I absolutely love it, but for some reason my beauty supply does not have it, so this is what I'm using for now. Once I add that in, I'm going in with the Knot Doctor by Conair, and I'm literally just going in right now because as you can see, his hair is already blow dried, so I'm not trying to add more heat. But he had his hair out and it was hot, so the end started to like shrivel up. The humidity, everything starts to activate in the hair and the hair starts to revert a little bit. So I just wanted to make sure that the roots, the middle shaft of the hair, and the ends are all the same texture, the same way for me to work with it. So I'm just going in, just doing a little bit, just working on the ends. Once I'm done with that, I'm going in with my wide tooth comb, my shower comb, and I'm combing everything through, making sure there's no knots, no tangles, nothing like that. Now my absolute favorite, the Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner. I'm still working on this little container. I'm just going to the last drop. I've had that for so long, but it lasts. As you can see, it lasts for a really long time. So I'm adding that again into the hair, concentrating on the ends and the perimeter. And then I'm going in with this brush. Everything that I use will be linked in the description box, so you can get your hands on them if you'd like to as well. Just kind of know what we are using. But I'm going in with this brush and I am working all the product through, making sure that all the strands are coated. It's just working its way through the hair so that when we braid it, as you can see, it's a protective style. We want to make sure that it is protecting the hair. So as I was showing you there, he has some split ends, which I think are split ends, but I'm not really sure because it could just be like the way that I cut his hair and it's kind of, at an angle. I don't use a lot of heat, so I don't believe it's heat damage, but I'm just going to keep an eye on it and go from there. So to do this style, we're going to be doing straight backs. My preferred way of doing them is splitting it in half and then connecting the front to the back. That way you know how much space you have to work, how much hair you have at the back for each part, and that way you're not making your design, making your braids, and then at the end everything's kind of jumbled up together. You don't have enough space for each end of each braid and it just looks a mess. So this way there's no way to not have enough room for your braids. So I'm going in now and I'm putting a little design. I'm starting with a swoop. The basis of this braid design is a little bit of a freestyle. So if you don't have it the exact same as what I'm doing, that's okay. But this is just the way that I completed this style. So I went in with a little bit of a swoop design in the front. And I wanted it to be a little bit thinner. I wanted this to be a thinner braid style. I didn't want them to be too thick. Typically I do them kind of thicker, but this was done for his picture day, so was like, let me just do something a little small, see if it lasts long. So today we're using the Via Natural Braiding Shine Jelo. Honestly, I'm a little indifferent with this. I buy it just because it's the cheapest in my beauty supply. The prices of gel is insane. I am not spending like $15-20 on the smallest size of Shine and Jam, which the last time I bought Shine and Jam, it ended up being grease instead of gel. And then the rest of the gels are like $20 to $30 for small things. I can't be bothered. So I go with this. It works, it does its job, it doesn't leave flakes or casts, but I would prefer something that's a little bit thicker, a little shinier when I braid with it, but this does the job. I don't mind it. So I add it into the roots. I use the comb to brush it, to comb it through, to mold it with the back end of the comb, and then I just go ahead and I braid down the braid as usual. Keep in mind with the braids like these where they're curved, you want to make sure that you are curving the braid along with the part so that it looks cohesive. You don't want it to just look like a braid stuck in the middle of somewhere, like you just stuck it on instead of actually braiding it in line with the part that you made. If you don't want to braid it kind of curved, that's fine. Just do a straight part when you're parting the hair. But if you do go with the curved part, you want to make sure that you're also braiding along that curved part so the braid matches the part and it all looks like one cohesive design. So because I'm angling myself to braid on camera, you will see this, which is actually me bending down and braiding down, because if not, I won't get the end of his head properly. So if you see that periodically throughout, that's just me trying to get a good angle so that you guys can see what I'm doing and I can also complete the braid. You don't have to braid like that when you're braiding, just braid normally. Okay, so I just want to point out here that we are splitting. Remember, we started with the right section, we split that into 4. We're going to take those 4 sections and split them into each one into 2. So in total, we're going to have 8 at the back, and that means we're going to have 8 braids coming from the front that we're going to connect into those. So we started out when we originally sectioned the hair with 4 on each side. So we're going to have 4 on the right half, and then when you do the left side of the hair, it's going to be 4 as well. But as we braid, we're splitting each of those 1 into 2 and making 2 braids per section, and that's how we'll make our style. So now going in to make our first little design, we're going to start midway or a quarter way through the part that we just sectioned off at an angle. So we're going to start actually on the inside, we're going to have it wrap around. So we're not starting right at the beginning of the section, we're starting at a quarter point. So if you need to slow it down, there is like 0.5 speed of this video so you can see exactly what I did to get to here. But once you split that section quarter way, you're going to make kind of like a 7, like a backward 7, or like a backward 7 shape, because we're on the right side. On the left side it'll be like a regular 7, and you're going to start braiding it from the opposite direction, so it's going to be braided upward, and then you're going to turn it around and we're going to braid it down. So as you can see here, I'm starting out partially in the middle or a quarter way through this braid, and then once I get it to the top of its section of where it's parted, I'm going to secure the hair on the opposite side just to make sure that nothing is getting into the braid and making it messy. And then I'm going to braid a little bit more, and I'm going to turn with my braid, and I'm going to just add in that hair that's going down, and I'm just going to continue braiding it down like a normal braid. So you could start this at any point. You could do this from this section here, you could do it from the top, whatever you want to do, but that's how we're going to do a braid that turns around. And if you're having a little bit of trouble understanding when I'm showing you like the designs and stuff, I will be doing detailed videos just showing how to do certain techniques so you could practice doing those techniques before you implement them into a braid design. Okay, so we're back to regular footage here. I don't know how it got messy or fuzzy to begin with. Thankfully, it didn't last for long. So as you can see here, I actually have been forgetting to put my gel in cleaning up my part. So that part between those two braids is a little off, not as neat as I would like it to be, but that's a reminder for us all to make sure that we're going in and cleaning up each part, each section as we go. So once I'm done cleaning up the section, I have added some gel to the braid that I'm about to do, and then I'm using the end of the rat tail comb, and I'm also using the back of the rat tail comb just to make sure that everything is smoothed in, and I've molded essentially that section of hair, so as I braid, everything is going into the middle and being braided in neatly instead of just kind of laying around scattered. So as you can see, I started right from the top. I used my comb to part out just the beginning of that braid, which is kind of like a triangle piece because we've started on like an angle just because of the way that we sectioned off these two braids, because we're doing two braids at a time to complete this full style. So I got my beginning piece and I'm just going in and I'm braiding down all the way to the end, taking my time. As you can see, when you get to the back, you want to concentrate, make sure that you're not grabbing hair from the other pieces, because again, that's going to make the parts look messy, and it's not going to look as defined and neat as you would like, and it's going to look old and stale quicker than it should be. Okay, let's get into our second design in our style. Again, if we're not catching it as I'm doing it here, there will be detailed videos coming soon. So I'm going to be making this kind of like a zigzag, kind of like a connected wave. So I'm going in and I'm only sectioning 4 for this one, I believe. I've done them like this before, and I've done the whole braid as the zigzag. You can do it like that, you can do just a couple pieces, whatever works for you. But for this one, just because of the size of the piece of hair that I'm using, I just wanted to do it with the 4. As you can see, the 4 pieces there. Kamari was asking me why am I showing it like that, and then the piece that it's going to connect to at the back. So I'm starting in this direction. You want to make sure that depending on how many pieces you have, you're starting in the right direction so that at the last one of your horizontal pieces, it's at the right side of the head to attach to the piece of braid that you're going to be braiding back down. Because if I had started on the left side instead of the right side, the last piece of hair would have been on the left side, and then it wouldn't have attached into the piece going down, and I would have just had this the end of this braid just hanging out, and it wouldn't have made any sense. So make sure you're going in the right direction. Make sure you look at it and kind of plan it out in your head, or just use your hand to make sure that you are going the right way before you start, because then you're probably going to have to take it out if you don't look, and then you're gonna have to start it again. That is though if you're having a piece left out at the end. If you're not and you're braiding the zigzag all the way down, then it doesn't matter. So as you can see, I'm taking them out one by one as I do each side, and I'm adding in the hair, and I'm braiding, continuing to braid in the original direction, and then I'm turning my piece as I go, bringing the hair with me, and then continuing down. So now that this is the last piece, I've gone in and I'm attaching it to the last bit of hair that is just going all the way down, just like the regular braid. And then we have a little bit of a zigzag in the beginning. Again, this is a smaller one. It's not as defined and not as big as I would usually do it. So I will have the detailed explanation of how you can do a full zigzag, but this was just a little piece that I wanted to add to the beginning to give the style a little bit of a design and to give it a little something so that his picture day hair looks nice. if you're subscribed to us, you would have seen my post. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do. You would have seen my post with these clips where I was asking you guys if you've put clips in to try and keep their hair straight. Let me tell you, I thought I was really onto something. I was like, I've got it figured out. This is going to be great. I will say it didn't last long. I also did end up having, after we did half of his hair, we went to swimming, and the ends of his hair did get wet a little bit. He does have a swimming cap, but it wasn't on properly, so the ends of his hair got wet. So that did curl it up a little bit. So I think that probably added to the reason why the clips didn't work as well. But as you can see here, when I'm braiding and I put these clips in, they're really keeping it straight. They're really doing something. So I don't know if it's just like a placebo effect and I'm thinking it's doing something, but it did do some type of, it did make a difference for a little bit at least. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this and if it's worked for you, but I did get some comments saying that it did not work for them. So I think it might just be an in the moment thing, but I also think it looks really cute. So I put these clips in just to kind of keep the hair straight as I was braiding, in hopes of just having the style look a little bit nicer for a little bit longer than it usually would. So for our last two braids, kept it super simple, just did some straight backs. So I didn't do them both starting at the same point. I did one starting a little bit further up than the other to kind of give it, you know, a little dimension. But you can do as you please. That's just how I kind of liked the look for this design. So it's 8 braids. The majority of them are just going straight back, but we did add a little bit of some designs in there. We started some lower down than others just to give that different kind of look to it. And it turned out great. It is a freestyle type of braid, so you are able to play with it and kind of make it your own. But you're going to remember that whatever you do on the right side, you're going to want to do on the left side just for a little bit of symmetry. That's what I prefer. But if you're not really into the symmetry, you can kind of do whatever you want and just do a freestyle all over. As long as, you know, all the braids hit on the head properly, then you're good to go. finished braiding the first of our two big braids that we had in the beginning. This is what we're left with. I did go back and continue with the clips. As you know, I'm just trying to keep this hair as straight as possible. But once I was done the whole head, this is what it looked like. So again, this is picture day. This is the morning of picture day, and I have the clips in until we get to the school. But this is what the hair ended up looking like for picture day. So the style worked up really quick, super easy. It was freestyle, so you can kind of go at your own pace and do what you like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please thumbs up. Don't forget to let us know any questions, comments, or concerns in the comment section below. Share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to us if you have not already. And make sure you follow us on all of our socials at Keeping Up with Cam. And don't forget to come back for our next video. See you then. Bye.